Welcome to A1 Storyteller, where we bring you powerful, gripping, and eye-opening stories that expose injustice, reveal hidden truths, and deliver karma in its purest form. Today's story is about entitlement, greed, and the moment a racist HOA neighbor learned the hard way that he messed with the wrong family. Where we bring you the most intense, shocking, and unforgettable stories of justice, karma, and real-life triumphs. Buckle up, because today's story will leave you speechless. Imagine working hard your entire life, earning everything you have through blood, sweat, and sacrifice, only for someone to believe they can steal it away, just because they hold a little power. Imagine being targeted not because you broke any laws, but simply because someone thinks they can take what belongs to you. That's exactly what happens when a power-hungry HOA board member decides to break into a black homeowner's garage to illegally seize his car. But what he doesn't know is that he's messing with the wrong family. Because this homeowner isn't just any man. He's someone with connections, intelligence, and a fire in his soul that refuses to be silenced. And his grandmother? Oh, she's about to teach this entitled HOA member the lesson of a lifetime. But that's not even the best part, because when the truth comes out, the entire neighborhood turns against the HOA. This is more than just a battle for one car, it's a battle for justice. So grab your popcorn, hit that like button, and stay tuned, because this story is about to get wild. And don't forget to subscribe to A1 Storyteller for more incredible tales of karma and justice. Now, let's dive into this epic showdown. Aaron Carter had worked his entire life to reach the level of success he enjoyed today. From a young age, he had watched his grandmother, Miss Thelma, work tirelessly to support their family. She instilled in him the values of hard work, resilience, and standing up for what's right. With those lessons, Aaron built his own business from the ground up. His tech company had become a major success, allowing him to buy his dream home in Oak Ridge Estates, one of the most luxurious neighborhoods in town. But not everyone welcomed him. From the day he moved in, Richard Myers, the HOA president, seemed to have a problem with Aaron. At first it was small things, sideways glances, fake smiles, condescending comments. But then, Richard started targeting him with HOA violation. Your grass is an inch too tall. Even though his neighbors' yards looked the same. Your trash bins were out too early, even though pickup wasn't until the next morning. Your guests park on the street too often, even though the HOA allowed guest parking. Aaron quickly realized that Richard wasn't just enforcing HOA rules, he was harassing him. But things took a turn when Aaron bought his dream car, a sleek, custom-wrapped luxury sports car. The moment Richard saw it, his face twisted with envy. "This kind of car doesn't belong in this neighborhood," Richard muttered under his breath. Aaron chuckled. "Oh yeah? And what kind of car does belong here?" Richard's jaw clenched, but he said nothing. From that day on, Richard's harassment escalated. He started falsely accusing Aaron of violating HOA parking rules. He called the city inspector on him multiple times for bogus reasons, and finally he threatened to have Aaron's car towed. Aaron dismissed Richard's threats, thinking they were just empty words. But he was wrong. One evening, Aaron had to leave town for a business trip. Before leaving, he parked his sports car safely inside his garage and locked it up. What he didn't know was that Richard had been waiting for this moment. That very night, Richard, along with a few of his HOA buddies, broke into Aaron's garage, their plan to tow away his car. Richard had falsified HOA documents, claiming that Aaron had abandoned the vehicle. Then, he called a shady tow company he had personal connections with and bribed the driver to take the car without question. Richard smirked with satisfaction as he used bolt cutters to snap off the lock on Aaron's garage. "Let's teach him a lesson," he sneered. "This is my neighborhood." But what Richard didn't realize was that Aaron's grandmother, Miss Thelma, was inside the house. And Miss Thelma wasn't about to let some entitled HOA president pull a fast one on her grandson. The second she heard the garage door open, she grabbed her phone, a baseball bat, and her no-nonsense attitude. She had dealt with bullies like Richard her entire life. She had lived through the civil rights movement, had stood up against real oppression, and had raised Aaron to be a fighter, and tonight she was ready to fight. The moment Richard laid his hands on the car, Miss Thelma stepped into the garage. "Excuse me," Just what do you think you're doing?" Her voice boomed like a cannon, freezing everyone in place. Richard turned slowly, his face instantly draining of color. Miss Thelma stood there, gripping the bat, her eyes burning with fury. The HOA members backed away. Even the tow truck driver, who thought he was just doing a routine job, sensed the danger and slowly started stepping away. But Richard? He stayed stubborn. "This is an HOA matter," he stammered. "We have the right to—" Miss Thelma took a step forward, her grip on the bat tightening. "You have the right to leave before I call the police on you for breaking and entering." Richard swallowed hard. He had never expected this, and just when things couldn't get worse for him, Heron pulled up. As the tension in the garage thickened, headlights sliced through the darkness. A sleek black SUV rolled into the driveway, its engine rumbling with power. Heron stepped out, still dressed in his tailored suit from his business trip, but the moment his eyes locked onto his garage door, wide open, the broken lock on the ground, and his luxury car hooked onto a tow truck, his expression turned to stone. Miss Thelma's voice was sharp. "Aaron, these fools think they can steal your car." Aaron's jaw clenched. He turned to Richard, whose face was now ghostly white. "Want to explain what's going on?" Aaron's voice was calm but deadly. Richard tried to recover. "Your car was parked illegally per HOA rules." Aaron cut him off. "Illegally? In my own garage?" Richard fumbled for words. "The HOA has the right to enforce. You're trespassing," Aaron snapped. "You broke into my property." "That's a felony," Richard gulped. The tow truck driver, sensing this was way beyond what he signed up for, started quietly unhooking the car. But before Richard could open his mouth again, another set of headlights appeared. A police car pulled up, and stepping out was Officer Jamal Carter, Aaron's cousin. Officer Jamal took one look at the situation and knew exactly what was happening. "Trespassing, breaking and entering, attempted grand theft auto," he listed off. "Richard, you must be dumber than I thought." Richard stammered, "This is an HOA matter. You can't arrest me for enforcing the rules." Jamal folded his arms. "You broke into private property. You tampered with a vehicle. The HOA does not have the right to commit crimes." Then he turned to the tow truck driver. "You want to tell me who ordered this tow?" The driver held up his hands. "Hey man, I was just called to do a job. I didn't know it was illegal." He gestured at Richard. "He signed the authorization." Jamal grinned. "Well then, we have all the proof we need." Miss Thelma smirked. "Looks like you're in trouble, Richard." Richard panicked. He turned to Aaron. "Come on, let's be reasonable. You don't want to take this to court?" "Oh, we're not taking this to court," Aaron said, stepping forward. "We're taking this to jail." Jamal pulled out his cuffs. "Richard Myers, you're under arrest." The news of Richard's arrest spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. Turns out Aaron wasn't the only homeowner Richard had harassed. Other residents came forward with their own stories of wrongful fines, threats, and abuse of power. The HOA board had no choice but to remove Richard from his position. He was fired, sued, and banned from ever holding another HOA leadership role. As for Aaron, he filed a civil lawsuit against Richard for trespassing and damages. He won. And the best part? The HOA was forced to pay him a settlement for wrongful harassment. And Miss Thelma? She sat back on the porch, sipping sweet tea, watching karma do its work. "I told that fool not to mess with my grandson," she chuckled. "Life has a funny way of setting things right." Richard thought he could bully his way through the neighborhood, using his position to intimidate and control people. He believed his authority made him untouchable, that his power gave him the right to violate someone's home, their privacy, and their sense of security. But what he failed to realize is that power built on injustice never lasts. No matter how much he schemed, he was no match for the truth. Aaron didn't just fight back for himself. He stood up for every homeowner who had been wronged, every person who had ever been bullied by someone abusing their authority. With the strength of his grandmother's wisdom, his own determination, and the support of family and justice, he turned the tables on Richard in a way no one saw coming. One moment, Richard was the one making the rules. The next, he was the one begging to escape them. This story is more than just about an HOA bully. It's about knowing your rights, standing firm, and never backing down. It's about the power of family, resilience, and the truth. Because no matter how much corruption exists in the world, one thing remains certain: justice always finds a way. If you loved this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What would you have done in Aaron's shoes? Ever had a run-in with a corrupt HOA? Drop your stories below. We want to hear from you. And remember, never let anyone take what's yours. Stand tall, stay strong, and always fight for what's right. This is A1 Storyteller, bringing you the stories that matter. Until next time, stay powerful.